our joint commitment to combating climate change, signaling our resolve to work together to advance and lead the way to a more sustainable and technologically advanced future.
We're excited to have someone that we believe in, the Prime Minister, representing a country we revere and admire, representing an opportunity that we hope will inspire others of like mind around the rest of the globe.
We've seen extreme weather events across the country, and we know that yes, there's a lot we can do in Canada, but Canada alone cannot solve this problem for Canadians. We need to work with everyone to solve the problems of the world.
And you've seen the horrific images of communities and towns, lifestyles, traditions that have literally been eliminated because of the fire and fury of Mother Nature. You may not believe in science, but you'll believe your own eyes. There's no Republican or Democratic thermometer. I mean, there's certain facts and realities, and I think foundationally that's going to allow us to move this agenda forward in powerful and potent ways.
On climate action, the world is watching. Our vision and commitment to working together matters because we are, all of us, not just leadership, but citizens, committed to working together for a brighter future for all.
Canadian officials were not the only foreign representatives in the city. Later in the program, we'll take a look at some highlights from the Summit of the Americas, which took place in LA. Is the sky really the limit? Channel 35 was at the groundbreaking of the Samuel Oschin Air and Space Center, which is expected to be completed in 3 years. This addition to the California Science Center will be the home for the Endeavour Space Shuttle, as well as a place for kids and adults to learn about space travel. Check it out.
We've been looking forward to this for a long time, for about 10 years now, since we first brought Endeavour here. We had this dream of this world-class facility. So it's taken us a while, but it's so awesome that it's finally happening.
This is a very exciting day. We started in 2012, and here we are in 22, finally putting the shovel in the ground, and in 3 years you'll be back here to see a completed building.
This is a day where we bring together what we stand for. We want a child born in a zip code, whether it's African American children, Mexican American children, folks who have been here for generations, people who fled, or even the native people whose land we're on. We know this is a city of belonging.
To be able to have this museum right in our community where our children can visit, they can learn about space, they can learn about science. This gives our children an opportunity to have some of the experiences they never would have, but for the vision about what was possible here.
Personally, it's fantastic to have it here in LA because I get to take my kids by here and I get to show them Daddy's spaceship, you know, my kids think that every daddy's got a spaceship, you know, so please, if you're listening out there, don't tell them that that's not true.
This is amazing because LA was not the only city that wanted this. Houston and Seattle wanted it, and they thought they were getting it. And then, of course, we got it. People will come from all over to see this.
When I started with this to get the money for the design, you never know whether or not you're going to be able to realize the vision. So to be here today to see the last phase of the development of this center is extraordinary, and I'm so very happy.
And so we celebrate who we are and what we can be. Let's get over the finish line, and I'll see you when we top off. Thanks so much.
I can't wait to come back here with my kids and see it when it's done.
Women are breaking glass ceilings and getting a seat at the table. Lessons of Leadership from Latin America was a chance to see how far we've come, but also what still needs to be done. Council President Nury Martinez was amongst the speakers who talked about representation in our community, as well as the need for policies that improve equity.
So as part of the Summit of the Americas, this panel was put together to really bring Latinas to talk about not just what's happening today, but also how are we envisioning the future? Looking at the road ahead, the challenges, but also the incredible opportunities. How do we work together? How do we support one another? And how do we change and transform our communities to really put them on a path to success?
Growing up in the San Fernando Valley, there was no elected official who looked like me or any of my neighbors. There were no leaders who looked like the communities that they represented. But we have seen the benefits of electing people with cultures and values similar to ours. When you elect someone who comes from your community, someone who knows the issues that we discuss oftentimes around the dinner table, that weigh on the shoulders of the very families in our neighborhoods, that's when representation is most effective.
Women in Power are implementing gender equality into their policies. Feminist movements in Latin America have really come together in the last years to really demand and ask governments to push for their most basic and fundamental rights. These movements have taken such importance and such relevance in the region that it's led to the legalization of abortion in Argentina, in Colombia, in 7 states in Mexico, and it's kind of permeating through other nations in the region. This Marea Verde, this green wave, has really shown what women can do when they unite forces to demand for the most basic and fundamental rights.
Are we bringing along our communities, but to making sure that people are at the table raising their voices, their concerns, and making sure that the policies that we make are policies that are helping everybody?
What happens after the summit, right? Because during the summit, everything is really exciting. People are talking about it, declarations, agreements are published. But once the dust settles, that's when we need to push so that these agreements really become actionable and are put into practice. Because if not, they just end up being declarations and agreements, and the leaders are there for the picture, which is amazing. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that this becomes actions and it becomes reality, so that Latin America and the Caribbean can become a developing, region that really has a political and economic force towards the future.
As well as highlighting female leaders, in today's show, we'll take a look at what young leaders from our community have to say about the latest social justice issues. Stick around for that story. During the Summit of the Americas, the LA Civil Rights Department and Mayor Garcetti discussed how much damage the pandemic of violence is causing across the Americas. Fighting hate and discrimination in our community is crucial, and the summit helped shed light on the need to find solutions. Let's take a look.
We are welcoming the world here to Los Angeles with the Summit of the Americas, but particularly we are having a summit to address hate and to figure out how we can make a better America.
We are experiencing the horrors of gun violence and mass shootings on far too regular a basis. So the United States global leadership is stronger when we honestly talk about and confront our own challenges with citizen security here at home.
There are so many wonderful things that unite us. This is one of the tragic things that unites us. The violence that is endemic across the Americas. From the most developed cities to the most under-resourced cities. Unfortunately, it is something that bonds us together. But thank you to everybody who is breathing peace and leading with love in our cities and in our hemisphere to show a different model. We can only count those we lose in our cities. We never get to count those that we save because they're still with us. We can't say for sure that that young man or young woman is alive today because of our work. We can only see the tragedies when we don't do our work well. But we know in our gut, we know in our bones that the work we do saves lives. We can see it statistically from year to year when we invest in the right models of policing, when we invest in prevention and intervention, when we invest in human development in a way that brings these pieces together, gender equity, the importance of education, after-school programs, and violence interruption from a trauma-informed perspective.
The pandemic of violence needs to end now, and we can and must get this done for all our futures.
To learn more about how we're fighting hate and discrimination in the city of Los Angeles, you can reach us at civilandhumanrights.lacity.org.
The First Lady delivers the commencement address for graduates of Los Angeles City College. The LA Zoo raises over $1.4 million during its 2022 gala, and LA recognizes Juneteenth as an official city holiday. These stories up next on City Beat. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden delivered the commencement address for graduates of Los Angeles City College, which was held at the Greek Theater in Griffith Park. The First Lady was introduced by Mayor Eric Garcetti, who discussed her part in announcing the LA College Promise program in 2016.
She is coming back to this community, where in 2016, she stood with us as we had a dream, a heavenly dream of our own, to try to make college a right.
Dr. Biden is a longtime supporter of community colleges and currently serves as an English professor at Northern Virginia Community College.
Never forget what made you who you are, and then you will be ready for wherever you choose to go next. So on behalf of my husband, the president, and me, congratulations, graduates!
For more info on Los Angeles City College, visit lacitycollege.edu. The Greater Los Angeles Zoo Association raised more than $1.4 million for the LA Zoo during its 2022 Beasley Ball Gala and silent auction. Attendees were able to bid on more than 150 items, including those donated by the estate of Betty White, a longtime LA Zoo supporter. Additionally, the gala honored environmental authors B. Natterson Horwitz and Catherine Bowers, and documentary producer Stephen Badger. The money raised will be used to support the LA Zoo and fund wildlife conservation locally and abroad. For more information on what programs and opportunities are new at the zoo, visit lazoo.org. Mayor Eric Garcetti, joined by Councilmember Curran Price and city leaders, signed a proclamation making Juneteenth an official city holiday. Following the signing, the LA City Council is set to issue a supporting resolution that will recognize June 19 as a city holiday every year. Juneteenth commemorates the anniversary of June 19, 1865, when the last enslaved people in Texas were issued an order proclaiming their freedom. For more info, visit lamayor.org. June is Pride Month, and after a 2-year hiatus because of COVID, the city came out to celebrate the LGBTQ+ community with the LA Pride Parade. People dressed to impress, marched, and gathered along Hollywood Boulevard and celebrated the freedom to be themselves. Check it out.
Today we celebrate Los Angeles Pride, and it's so wonderful to be here back in its original place where Pride started, because Pride is part of all of Los Angeles, not just one community.
We're at Pride Parade! It's our first time here! I'm so excited!
The theme was Return to Pride, and so the spin-off was The Wizard of Oz, so that's why I'm dressed in drag as Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
It started in 1970. This is sort of a belated 50th anniversary since the last 2 years during the pandemic. But we're so excited because this is the first time that Pride has been in the city of LA and in Hollywood in decades.
The energy?
Yeah.
The energy is just fantastic.
It's unmatched. I love it.
I grew up in a time when the entire world was like a conversion camp, where they're all trying to make us not queer, and now we're all celebrating it because we've fought so long, and it's just an amazing thing.
We come from a community that doesn't really have people like us, and coming to a crowd where there is a lot of support, it's just really huge to me. It's very impactful being here right now. Like, I'm just taking it all in, like watching everybody. I'm like, oh my God, they're so pretty. Everything is just beautiful.
Where we come from, it's not necessarily hostile, but people still have that whole like mentality. It's like gay is bad, it's wrong, it's weird if you are gay. And it's like being somewhere where that's where the majority is, it feels different and it feels very special. It feels like I'm safe here, like I'm with the crowd that I belong to. Very excited, a lot of emotions. I feel like I might start crying in the parade. You know, I'm so happy.
People, regardless of what their bodies are, they have a voice and we have a voice, and we want people to hear us and see us.
Los Angeles is a place where everyone belongs and our dreams can fly if we have wings to carry us. The Wings of Mexico, a new installation right outside the Griffith Observatory, highlights the close relationship between Los Angeles and Mexico and will become a reminder for all the people visiting or moving to LA that they can fly to great heights.
These wings are a great gift from our friends in Mexico. These wings have been put in cities around the world, but it's most natural to have them here in the City of Angels, because every angel needs her wings. And we see all over Los Angeles murals with angel wings where people are able to go. Now in the most famous, probably tourist spot in America, right by the Hollywood sign, by the most visited observatory anywhere in the world, you can come here and feel those wings, but also feel that friendship between Mexico and the United States.
The fact that it is here where millions of visitors come annually, where millions of people across America see as their vision of Los Angeles, this couldn't be a more fitting place for this, a monument to the continued friendship and partnership between these two countries.
When you think about just a few words, the summit of the Americas, the city of Los Angeles, the city of the angels, and the wings of Mexico right here in this place. I can't think of a better place to inaugurate what will go down as one of the best times in history as we open up the Summit of the Americas here in the United States, here in the city of Los Angeles.
You know, I'm the grandson of immigrants from Mexico who came to the United States and to Los Angeles. To me, this represents both sides of the border. It represents why they were able to fly and come to a place of opportunity, and also the pride that we have of the home countries that they came from. And I think that story exists for so many immigrants that have come here, or migrants even that have come from other parts of America. Los Angeles is a city where everybody belongs and where our dreams can fly.
Car enthusiasts and their families had a chance to admire over 100 cars from different eras at the 19th annual Still Saving Lives car show. This event, organized by the LA Police Department, was a chance to bring the community together and raise funds to support the men and women who keep our streets safe. Take a look.
This is our 19th annual Still Saving Lives car show. It is a fundraiser that we put together, Valley Traffic, in conjunction with our volunteer booster group, which is called the Valley Traffic Advisory Council, or VTAC for short. Throughout the year, VTAC and Valley Traffic partner together to do fundraisers, help raise money to pay for things that the department can't always pay for.
Every police department has certain items that they need to make sure that they're efficient and effective with what they do. The city of Los Angeles supplies them the very basics. However, there are some other items to do their jobs better, such as a gun holster. It could be beautification at the station. It could be landscaping. It could be little things to support the men and women that are protecting our cities to do their jobs a little bit better.
I was actually at Walmart with him shopping for Hot Wheels, and I met a police officer that was there that told me I should come down and bring him. It's nice for people to see your work and what you did, for other car heads to appreciate it.
I bought the car in 1980, spent a few years restoring it and driving it around now, enjoying it.
It's a free public community event. We encourage everybody to come and enjoy, bring the family. We have tons of kids displays and amazing, beautiful cars.
We had 130 cars pre-register, and that's pretty good for an event, especially after pandemic when things was completely shut down. It's outdoors, it's open air, it's just a good place to be and have a good time.
In a recent roundtable discussion with Mayor Garcetti, gun violence and mental health awareness were two of the main issues on the minds of the LA Youth Council. These young Angelenos had a chance to address their concerns face-to-face with the mayor and discuss potential policy changes. Check it out.
A lot of us have brought up mental health as a main driving factor in this gun violence discussion. And I'm wondering, as I think about it over the years, why are we diverting to mental health? Why are we not focusing on the guns themselves?
Having the bomb dropped that, hey, your daughter is currently in the ER for being suicidal. Like, how does that feel to a parent who doesn't even believe suicide is a thing or depression is a thing?
As I've always said, youth are not the leaders of tomorrow. Okay. They're truly the leaders of today. And these young people have been demonstrating that. A tradition of a youth council that advises the mayor since Tom Bradley.
Why are we able to get a gun at 18 instead of 21 when you can drink at 21 but you can't drink at 18? I don't really see how school police will necessarily be much of a solution because it would only make students inside of school not feel as safe.
Our interactions with the mayor were very informed, and I was very impressed and honored by the way that he gave us his time and had this discussion with us. We came away with concrete solutions instead of abstract ideas. So the thing that I'm most excited about now is taking what we've discussed here and learned here and applying it to what we do in the future.
Today we were talking not only of our personal experiences with gun violence, but also things that we want to see, change within the city, like mental health and like policies that hold other people accountable. And I really appreciated, how he, took some time out of his day to, just listen to us, just listen to our grievances, listen to like what ideas we have. And it really shows that he's not tokenizing us, he's not tokenizing youth, but he's actually taking our ideas into consideration.
Thank you all.
What are the things that really bring people together? That is what the Central Library exhibition, Something in Common, seeks to answer. Through different forms of artistic expressions, the visitors are able to appreciate the benefits of social gathering through this journey across all the different communities that are formed in the libraries.
We're here at the Something in Common exhibition at the Central Library downtown, and this is a special exhibit that really looks to celebrate what are the things that bring people together. It's also specifically meant to highlight our public libraries as a community gathering place. We had done a lot of research about this idea of social gatherings and the kind of benefits of coming together with your community. And it's unfortunately been really well documented by sociologists over the last couple decades that that's been in decline in this country. And then of course when the pandemic happened, all of these ideas about us coming together and issues of isolation and loneliness really became front page news. But it really gave us a renewed sense of importance for this conversation and this kind of project. So we're really grateful now for the opportunity as things begin to open up again to welcome people back to the library and to, again, share in that conversation about what it is that brings us together, how we can come back out and share space again after a time of such unprecedented isolation. I'm standing in front of a really unique exhibit. It's a display of new banners that were created by the artist Christine Wong Yap. So she came and felt that there was a need to highlight some of the unique communities that were gathering at our branch libraries across the city and created this set of new banners that represent 7 different groups that meet at our branch libraries across the city. Everything from the Persian Poetry Forum to the French Conversation Club to the Neuroplasticity Club. This is just a snapshot, if you will, of the many different types of communities that are formed around a program or a service or an idea that's happening here at the library. You know, in highlighting some of these fascinating groups and looking at some of the more unique things that bring people together, we hope that visitors will take the opportunity to think about what are the things that connect them with others. We all have a need for community, and more than ever, I think today, there's a need for us to come together and have conversations with others and kind of break bread and share in that experience. So our hope with this project is that it will be an opportunity to really take away and think about something more serious, even as they're exploring some of these more fun and interesting and unusual groups as well. The Something in Common exhibition here at the Central Library downtown in our Getty Gallery will be up through November 6th. There's a lot more information about this exhibition and some of the featured groups and the artwork that we commissioned on our project website, which is lapl.org/something.
Join the Griffith Observatory Summer Solstice virtual event. Enjoy free nature play at the LA Zoo Family Nature Club, or attend Micah the Magician's wonderful magic show. All this up next on Things to Do. Summer is here, and your pals at the Griffith Observatory want to help mark the summer solstice. The observatory staff will have a live online broadcast, weather permitting, focused on the setting sun. They will talk about how the sun's changing path across the sky causes seasonal changes and determines where the sun sets on the western horizon. Join this free online talk during the longest day of the year that marks the beginning of the summer as the sun sets. Anyone can sign up for this live online discussion before June the 21st via the Griffith Observatory website. For more information, visit griffithobservatory.org. The LA Zoo, in partnership with the LA Department of Recreation and Parks, is bringing the Family Nature Club back. This is a chance to enjoy free nature play by exploring beyond the zoo with loosely structured outdoor games and discovering nature through art and building, thanks to the help of the LA Zoo Learning and Engagement staff. It is open to families, caregivers, and children of all ages, and no registration is required. The Family Nature Club will take place the last Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. starting on June 25th. For more details, visit lazoo.org. The Chatsworth Branch Library invites adults and children to a wonderful magic show. Micah the Magician will be performing a highly interactive magic show where the audience is the star. Join him as he returns to Chatsworth for this magical opportunity and get a close look at how Micah performs his amazing magic tricks. This is a great chance for magic lovers of all ages to attend a free live show. Micah the Magician's show will take place at the Chatsworth Branch Library on Saturday, June 25th at 1 p.m. For more information, visit lapl.org/events. And that's a look at some things to do. And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
City Council. Today is June 21st. I'm Nuria Martinez, the President of the City Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Blumenfield.
Present.
Bonin. Buscaino.
Here.
Cedillo. Absent. De Leon.
Here.
Harris Dawson.
Present.
Koretz. Absent. Krikorian.
Here.
Lee. Martinez.
Present.
O'Farrell.
Present.
Price.
Here.
Rahman.
Here.
Rodriguez. Absent. Wesson. 12 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of June 17th, 2022.
Mr. Bonin moves and Mr. Blumenfield seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Price moves and Mr. De Leon seconds.
Thank you, Madam President. Today is Tuesday, and it's time for the flag salute.
Mr. Krikorian, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'd be honored, Madam President. Thank you. If I could ask everyone in chambers to please rise and face our flag, and mindful of the values that it represents, join me in saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and run through the agenda.
Madam President, there is a request to hold item 22 on the desk.
Okay, without objection. Next.
Items 1 through 6 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 7 through 22 are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 23 through 35 are items for which public hearings have not been held. Items 36 through 39 are items scheduled for closed session for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, without objection, members, those items are now before us. You wish to call any of these items special, Mr. Price?
Item 21, Madam President, special, please.
You want 21 for remarks?
Correct.
Thank you. Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. Item 32, special for an amending motion that's now being circulated.
Thank you. Mr. Lee?
Madam President, the city attorney has just advised me that I need to recuse myself from item number 21 because of my position on hospital boards.
Has there been a request by Mr. Lee to recuse himself on item 21? Thank you. Mr. Bonin?
Yes, item 8 for a separate vote. And I know Mr. Price called 21 special, but 20 as well.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Rahman?
I'm all set, thank you.
What item? Okay, you're good, okay. Members, are there any other items you wish to call special at this moment? Mr. De Leon?
Thank you very much, Madam President. I would like to move that we approve the PCN for item number 3. In addition, Madam President, I'd also like to move that for item number 20 that we adopt option number 1 from the Rules, Elections, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee report, which states adopt the proposed initiative ordinance without alteration. I would also like to call it for comments prior to the vote.
So do you have a second on your motion on 3?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonin.
Mr. Bonin, thank you.
And
What
finally,
about on 20?
yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Bonin as well, okay.
And finally, Madam President, file item number 22 for a technical amendment that is circulating.
Yes, and if you don't mind, I'll read it out in case it doesn't get posted.
Did you say item number 2?
22 for a technical amendment.
Amendment says that the item be amended to instruct the city administrative officer to also revise the amount of the parcel tax rate to include the funding needed for the rehabilitation, repair, and operation and maintenance of the Pershing Square Civic Center Master Plan Open Space and the Valley Boulevard Linear Park, presented by you, and I believe, Mr. Price, you're the second on that?
Did you second his technical amendment, sir? Okay, thank you. Mr. De Leon, do you have any other items? Mr. Price?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a correction, item 21, I'd like to make a motion on that, not just a comment, but a motion. And I'd like to move that we adopt the proposed initiative ordinance. Item 21.
You're moving 21 to adopt.
Correct.
Is there a second? Mr. Harris Dawson? Any others? Any other specials, members? If there aren't any other specials, Madam Clerk, which are the available items for us to vote on? Mr. Kekoyan?
So sorry, Madam President. If I could please call item 34 special for comments as well, please.
34 special for Mr. Kekoyan. Okay, members, are there any other specials? You see no other specials? Madam Clerk, which are the available items for us to vote on?
Thank you, Madam President. There are cards on items 1 through 6 and 23 through 39. Currently, the council may vote on item 7, 9 through 19, and that's it.
Okay, so the available items, members, for us to vote on are items 7 and items 9 through 19. Let's go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, members, we're going to move on to public comment. There is a number of, we have close to almost 100 speakers today. I will do my best to get through those. So if we don't have enough time, I will let everyone know when we're approaching our limit, but we're going to start with the first speaker, Arnold Sachs. Mr. Sachs, hold on for just a second. I got to take another vote before I give you your time. Members, at this time, we can also vote on item number 8. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
9 ayes, 3 noes.
Okay, Mr. Sachs, go ahead. You filled out a card for public comment, items 1 through 6, and items 23 through 39. Give him his first 3 minutes for his items.
Yeah, and we'll set the clock for 3 minutes for the items, Mr. Sachs.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Arnold Sachs. I'd like to speak about item 24. It's mentioning the COVID-19 and something about homelessness. You have homelessness, H-O-M-E-L-E-S-N-E-S, and you have homeless, H-O-M-E-L-E-S. So I'm trying to figure out where the money is going for each of these conditions. And this COVID-19, you're tracking, you're giving vaccines for COVID-19, but you're tracking the novel coronavirus. So why are you tracking the novel coronavirus while you're giving vaccines for the COVID-19, and we don't know about the coronavirus, and we don't know about the SARS, and all these new mutant developments that are coming up all of a sudden? I'd really like to know why you're not doing anything about CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. If you look at the air, it's filthy. You need to stop this construction that's going on downtown so we can get some cleaner air. We need to clean up some of these refineries. We need to do something because you're setting deadlines you'll never meet.
I'm not quite sure what item you're on, so let's stick to
That's
the item.
26, sir. You're not quite sure of a lot of things. You're a mosquito. No, wait. You're a parasite.
Sir,
So,
you need to
Mr.
get back to the items.
Okay,
you
so
were not
there's a
on 20.
reward issued for number 26, and I'm trying to find out why you don't want to issue a reward for the person who stole that $660 million from the city and the county of Los Angeles and walked out the door with it. That's $660 million that's gone missing. You have to make up that debt, which comes out to be $1.2 trillion. That's a lot of fucking money. Where's that money going to come from? Who cares? I'm concerned about, nobody cares about the airplanes that are suddenly flying over downtown LA. There must be 50 planes flying over downtown LA after they built that dumbass stadium where they shouldn't have built it in the flight path. Didn't they check with the FAA to find out if that was feasible? I thought there was something about that came up. I'm concerned about the Grand Park development that's going on across the street and the money from HHH and the other Measure H, all the half-cent sales tax that hasn't been spent. There's thousands and thousands of homeless people all over this goddamn county. And you're going to come up with another homeless plan? I'd like to read something from the county agenda. Discussion and consideration of necessary actions on issues related to the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. Health reform and its impact on Los Angeles County as requested by Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas at the board meeting of February 21st, 2017.
Give him his 1 minute of general public comment.
1 minute of general public comment. There was an article recently in the LA Times about swag bags and logos. So I'd just like to point out I got some gift cards here. This is from Subway. And if you notice, this logo up in the upper top corner is green and yellow. But this logo over here is white and yellow or white and orange. It's a problem because it's a for-profit, non-profit scam. And in good old LA County, any scam you can do is a good scam as long as you can get away with it. And it's fucking ridiculous. It's about time somebody stood up and said, we need to do something. We need to change some of the policies here. There's a shutdown for government for this by the SEIU for 1 year. There's over $200 zillion missing. Where is that fucking money? Who's got it? Where did it go? Blackmailing the goddamn government.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Jessica Jeans. Jessica, are you here? Jessica Jeans. No one here by that name. Thank you. Next speaker is Adina Tesler. Adina, are you here? Sorry, I'm still getting used to having a council chambers full of folks. You signed up to speak in general public comment. Please give her a minute. Go ahead.
Is this supposed to be for item number 21?
You signed up for general public comment and item 21. That is correct.
So can I address item 21 now?
Yes, go ahead, give her a minute, and then you can, if you want to speak in general public comment, we'll give you your additional minute.
And can you move the mic a little bit closer to you so we can hear you
Sure.
better? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adina Tesler. I'm from the Hospital Association of Southern California. We strongly urge the committee to move item 21 to the ballot and allow the residents of Los Angeles to vote. This was brought forward to you as a ballot measure and should proceed as such. We all agree that healthcare workers are heroes, but this measure is not a way to show our gratitude because it is flawed and inequitable. If the City Council passes this ordinance, then you will be picking winners and losers in the healthcare workforce. This measure targets only private hospitals and hospital systems. The majority of healthcare workers in the city are excluded from this benefit. It is not focused on clinical workers. It targets hospital workers like security and food service and maintenance, important workers to the hospitals, but not clinical workers. And those folks are already being compensated above minimum wage. These same workers at public hospitals and community clinics will not receive this benefit. This will cause workforce strain from community and public health care providers who cannot compete with the private facilities.
Can you go ahead and move into your public comment?
Please do the responsible thing and send this measure to the ballot so voters can have a voice. Thank you.
Next speaker is Adriana Araiza. Adriana, are you here? You filled out a card for general public comment and item number 21. You can go ahead and start with your item first. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Adriana Araiza, and thank you, council members. All healthcare workers have sacrificed during the pandemic, and many are leaving the profession, which is leading to the patient care crisis we are facing in Los Angeles across our state. The healthcare workers' minimum wage will raise wages for healthcare workers in private healthcare facilities. The industry has tried to claim this discriminates against workers in public facilities, but as you all know, the workers in county hospitals are members of SEIU 721, and they recently won an agreement that guarantees 12% raises of the 3 years of their contract. The 721 members are currently voting to ratify that agreement. And the industry claims that it discriminates against workers in public hospitals, even though they will know that wages cannot be set for publicly funded institutions at the city level. I don't believe for a minute that the hospitals corporations are concerned that the workers at county and public hospitals are not paid high enough. And you shouldn't believe it either.
You want your 1 minute of general public comment? Go ahead.
Thank you. I am here to express my support for passing healthcare workers' minimum wage as an ordinance because it is a crucial part of raising wages for all healthcare workers in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Dr. K.R. Truthbay. You filled out cards for general public comment, item 18, item 15 through 19, and items 27 through 35. Go ahead.
Good morning, Council, Madam President. I wanted to focus primarily on the homeless agendas. Last week when I came and told you about the lack of HMIS and capacity building from LAHSA for African American-led service providers, one of the issues was that the Director of Homeless Strategies refused to process our IRS tax papers, even though we're on the website. So here you have on item 19, RFB, request for bids for central outreach persons experiencing homelessness in related matters. That's what we were trying to do. That's why we set up with Matthew Ten-Chavez for him to do a visit site concerning the warehouses in Skid Row that we can have for emergency shelter. So in my hand, I didn't have time to present this. Last week, we have a quarter of the EHV applications. These are people that are currently sleeping in their cars, sleeping in the park. This is only a quarter of the 2,300 applications that we sent to LAHSA. Alex Vitrosky. Before Heidi stepped down, we need to know what's happening with the 3,000 vouchers that's in the queue right now. The main reason why we as a homeless service provider, Federal Health Commission and the Kingdom Warriors Foundation have done outreach and engagement for 7 years. And we have not even gotten close to getting funding from the city or the county because you guys are not vetting African American social service providers. You're not addressing it. One thing that also upset yesterday when we had the Homeless Committee for Harbor Gateway, Buscaino, you had on Wayne Spindler and Armando Herman that crashed the meeting and literally called us niggers. Not only did he call us niggers 4, 5, 6 times, but he had to be booted out. So Ms. Buscaino, I need you to listen to the Harbor Gateway Neighborhood Council meeting last night, and this is atrocious. I want to see Wayne Spindler and Armando Herman arrested for a hate crime. You do not, in this day and age, when we are stating that we are stopping the Asian hate in the Pride Month, that you allow people that have been coming to the city council to call us niggers. We're tired of that title. Jan Perry sat in your seat, Herb Wesson, Curran Price, and made a big hoopla when people were explaining that this is how we're being treated. At this day and age, to be called that word, it says a very deep message that we are not wanted, that our services are not wanted, and that needs to stop. So I ask you to address fairly the homeless service providers. That way, we don't have to go through and hear that again.
Thank you. Does she still have her 1 minute of general public comment? Do you have your 1 minute?
Okay. At the end of the day, when this meeting's adjourned, you have houses to go to. These people, 2,300 people that I literally have in our database, need housing. The landlords that refuse to even take the vouchers because their credit score is not good, that is absolutely ridiculous. Again, we are housing navigators. We are experienced with housing the homeless. The reason why it's encampments on the freeways because LAHSA, again, discriminates against African American social service providers. So I'm going to ask you, please, the weekend of Juneteenth, the day off that you guys got, it was for my ancestors. I understand that we are not welcomed, we are not loved, we are the permanent underclass. But I'm asking you right now, please stop using Martin Luther King and Malcolm X quotes when you have your staff member calling us out of our name and not even filing the applications that we submitted for the RFPs. I want to see a change. Let's do it today, please.
Thank you, Mr. Buscaino.
Madam President, point of personal privilege, since the last speaker identified one of my neighborhood councils, and I appreciate her testimony, and we share the same frustration and demand the city attorney to file these hate crimes against these public speakers. This body here supports what you say. It's complete BS to hear the ongoing N-word, but yet our city attorney, Mike Fuhrer, continues to call this freedom of speech. So please, we stand with you, we agree with you, we demand that you call on the city attorney to take action. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Buscaino. The next speaker is Stuart Wallman. Stuart, are you here? You filled out cards for general public comment and items 20 through 22.
Okay.
So you want to start with your items, give them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Stuart Waldman, president of VICA, the Valley Industry and Commerce Association. We're here to express our opposition to the workplace security, workload, wage, and retention measures for hotel workers ordinance, and to urge you to not adopt it outright and rather give the voters their say on this important issue. We all want to protect hotel workers, but that is not what this ordinance is about. The reality here is that the ordinance truly cripples hotels who have fought to remain open or who reopened during the pandemic. Spikes in labor costs could cause other hotels to follow suit in either foreclosure or permanent closure. As we know, California is already suffering a major water drought. The ordinance requires for daily housekeeping during a guest stay, which will negatively impact the environment. Currently, hotel guests may opt out of housekeeping throughout the duration of their stay and are rewarded with bonus points in a loyalty program or a financial incentive. This ordinance removes the provision and requires staff to enter the room each day. Though the ordinance requires daily housekeeping in all rooms, it effectively prevents hotels from paying employee overtime. This will force a limitation on income, require hotels to hire more staff, which will result in hours lost for current employees. Lastly, the proposal has not been evaluated for long-term economic impacts to the transient occupancy tax. Let's see. We also urge you to make the recommendation of allowing the minimum wage for employees working in healthcare facilities. Put that on the ballot rather than adopt by ordinance. The measure would have significant negative impacts to the ability of local healthcare providers, from our biggest hospitals to local community clinics, to adequately serve Los Angeles residents. This arbitrary minimum wage increase would put accessible and affordable healthcare at risk at the worst possible time. Indeed, healthcare workers are heroes and have been essential during the past few months. the past few years. In recognition of this, providers across the country have given increased benefits where financially possible and put the health and safety of their workers above all else. Also, the vast majority of healthcare workers throughout the city of LA are excluded by this measure.
Okay, you can move into general public comment.
Lastly, we're asking for an economic analysis on this measure too. But the reality is that over 600,000, and by the end of the vote counting, which was probably today, over 700,000 Angelenos voted in this election, which was not great turnout. These measures received over 100,000 signatures. 100,000 signatures are not the equivalent of a majority of votes in this election or the next election, which will have over 1 million voters most likely. So to just adopt a measure without putting it on the ballot, without having hearings, without having public opportunity to have discussions, without having economic analysis is just wrong. These measures should be put on the ballot. Let the voters decide. Let the debates happen, because they didn't happen yet. We ask that you put these on the ballot. Thank you.
Okay, members of the public, everyone's going to try to have a chance to speak. Thank you, Mr. Stewart-Wellman. Next speaker is Brittany Cruz. Brittany Cruz? Is there anyone here with that name? Brittany Cruz. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next speaker. Daniel Franguez? Daniel? You filled out a card for general public comment in item 21. Go ahead and start with the item first.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Daniel Francis. Thank you to the council members and my team over here, everybody. I'm a licensed vocational nurse at Southern California Hospital in Hollywood and a resident of Los Angeles for 25 years. I'm here to express my support for passing a healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. We are professional healthcare workers and we risk our lives every day. We expose ourselves to COVID every day. We keep patients alive every day. We are worth $25 an hour. But today, by flipping burgers in some fast food restaurants, you can make more than what a lot of healthcare workers make. After the extreme risk of working in healthcare during the past few years, rising inflation and the high cost of living, a lot of people don't want to stay in healthcare. They want to leave, especially if they can make the same somewhere else without the risk. Given our healthcare worker shortage, I have hope and prayer for every resident of Los Angeles.
Okay, you can move into your general public comment.
Yes.
You have another minute.
If you get sick and you have to go to the hospital, I hope and pray that you are treated by someone experienced in healthcare who did not take the higher paying job in retail or fast food. Because sometimes having an experienced caregiver can make the difference between life and death. That is why I urge you to support the healthcare workers minimum wage to retain and recognize outstanding healthcare workers in our city. Thank you.
The next speaker is Denise Knitter. You filled out cards for items 20 and 21. You've got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Good morning, Madam Chair and the council members. I'm here on behalf of the LA County Business Federation, also known as BizFed. For item 20, we want to urge the council to please allow the measure to go to the ballot and not adopt it outright. The reason being is that it is going to triple the cost of housekeeping and decimate local tax revenue. When a similar ordinance and measure were passed in the city of Long Beach, there was a dramatic decrease in their transient occupancy tax revenue following implementation. In addition, we all want to protect hotel workers, but ultimately feel that's not what's going to be accomplished. We urge you to please let Angelenos vote on this measure. And in addition, for item 21, in terms of healthcare workers, we are also urging you to please let the community make a decision and not adopt it outright as an ordinance. The reason being that we are urging an economic analysis to better understand the impacts on the city, workers, healthcare providers, and economy. This measure would have significant impacts for our membership, which also include small neighborhood clinics as well as larger hospitals, to be able to provide care adequately to the residents of Los Angeles. The measure is flawed and arbitrary, and we're please urging you to allow the city members to vote on it. Thank you for your time.
You also had a minute of general public comment. I apologize for not telling you that earlier. Do you still want your 1 minute?
I don't have further comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The next speaker is Dinah Cruz. Is Dinah Cruz here? Dinah Cruz, are you here? If not, I'm going to move on to the next speaker. I don't see anyone by that name. Next speaker is Dinah Jaques. Dinah Jaques. Okay, no Dinah Cruz and no Dinah Jaques. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next speaker. Edvado Cruz. Edvado Cruz. No one here with that name with Edvado Cruz. Moving on. Next speaker is Esme Grubbs. Esme, are you here? You filled out a card for general public comment in item 21. Let's
Correct.
give you your minute for your item, and then we'll move into general public comment.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Esme Grubbs. Thank you to the council members. I am here to express my support for passing a healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. I've listened to the speakers from these big hospital corporations claim that raising wages for healthcare workers would lead to higher premiums for patients. Let's be 100% clear. These are the same corporations who have made big profits during the pandemic. Cedars-Sinai alone made $1 billion in 2021. Kaiser Permanente made $8 billion in 2021. Even smaller hospitals like Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center and Valley Presbyterian Hospital made millions of profits in 2020. That's the last year we have data for. If they raise costs to patients, it's not because they are forced to, it's because they are protecting their big profits instead of investing in their frontline healthcare workers. They've also claimed raising minimum wage would lead to cuts in servicing or even closing. Again, that is just not true. In fact, it's the same recycle message they roll out anytime they oppose increased pay and patient care improvements. If they are any hospitals that are honestly unable to afford these wages, increase the law allows them to receive an exemption annually if they can substantiate the claims. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Francisco Cisneros. Francisco, are you here? You filled out a card for general public comment in item 21. Go ahead and start speaking on item 21. You can move into general public comment after.
Hi, my name is Francisco. I'm an environmental service worker at Cedars-Sinai, born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm here to express my support for passing a healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. I make $17 an hour at Cedars-Sinai. I have a newborn baby girl. I also have a 5-year-old daughter. I can barely afford to support my family on $17 an hour. Work so many hours, barely get to see my kids. My 5-year-old asks, she looks at the calendar and asks me, "Daddy, when's your day off?" I can't really tell her because I gotta work that next day, work that overtime just to make ends meet. I used to be a waiter, and honestly, this inflation is driving me crazy. I'm considering going back to being a waiter right now. And that is why I urge you to support the healthcare workers minimum wage. Thank you.
The next speaker is Heather Rosman. Heather, are you here? You filled out a card for general public comment in item 20. Start with your item first.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. I am here with the Hotel Association of Los Angeles, asking you to send this to the ballot measure, as was the process started. We believe that the workplace security workload, wage, and retention for members is already taking place in hotels where we enjoy panic buttons, recall and retention under city and state laws that cover a wide variety of safety for human trafficking prevention and sexual harassment training. We all want to protect hotel employees, and in fact, we support the safety elements of the proposal, including the aforementioned. However, this ordinance includes many other elements that are unworkable, and we ask you to send this to the ballot. We oppose the measure because this daily room cleaning, newly coupled with this package of requirements, would increase water consumption.
Move on to general public comment. You can continue.
Thank you.
Give her another minute.
Thank you. During an unprecedented drought, Angelenos have been asked to reduce their water consumption by 35% in light of severe drought conditions. This measure deeply undermines this goal. Mandatory daily room cleaning would increase the use of water as well as electricity and gas in perpetuity. It also would impose daily room cleaning on guests who prefer to opt out for environmental or other reasons. This measure would prevent employees from earning additional income and are limited by square footage. At a time when hotels are struggling to fully staff operations, this would result in further staff shortages, potentially leading to caps in occupancy through inability to staff and service rooms. This proposal has not been reviewed for its impact to transient occupancy tax and all the services that it provides for tree trimming, potholes, and even helping to end homelessness. So we ask you to let the voters decide and send it to the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jessica Cruz. Jessica, are you here? Jessica, you filled out cards for general public comment in item 21. Go ahead and start on the item first.
Hi, my name is Jessica Cruz. Thank you to the committee.
Can you move the microphone a little closer to you? We can't hear you.
Hi, my name is Jessica Cruz. Thank you to the council members. I'm a vocational nurse and have worked at Kaiser LAMC for 6 years. I have been a resident of Los Angeles for 37 years. I'm here to express my support for passing the healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. In the summer of 2020, during the height of the pandemic, I got pulled to cover other Kaiser clinics in the LA area due to short staffing. From one day to the next, no orientation, no preparation. The work we do is critical. Patients' lives are in our hands. This is physically and emotionally draining job. Yet the pay we get doesn't reflect this. Inflation is also something I worry about. I was not paying $7 a gallon for gas when I first got hired. I was a first-generation college student. My parents didn't have finances. I took out loans to get my education, and I'm still paying for them now.
Okay, Liz, go ahead. You can move into your general public comment, and you have another minute.
I'm a mother of 2, and between my husband and myself, we are just getting by. This is why I urge you to support the healthcare workers' minimum wage to retain and recognize outstanding healthcare workers in our city. Thank you.
The next speaker is Diana Sanchez. Diana Sanchez, are you here? You filled out a card for item number 20.
Hi, my name is Diana Sanchez, and I would like to speak on behalf of the Hotel Protection Ordinance. I am a housekeeper at the Intercontinental Hotel. Housekeepers are the only classification in the hospitality industry that get paid like garment workers. pay based on the amount of work they do. When the minimum wage goes up, some hotels then raise the room quotas on the housekeepers, so we don't really make more money per room. The law makes sure we're fairly compensated when we clean more rooms. The Los Angeles City Council should implement this law now. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Dylan Foster. Are you here? Dylan, are you here? Okay. Okay, Dylan, you signed up for general public comment on item number 20.
Yes.
So go ahead and speak on your item, and then we'll move into general public comment. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm here representing Sunrise LA, speaking in support of the hotel workers ordinance. It is absurd to place the blame for the drought on hotel workers or on housekeepers. We know that corporations cause this climate crisis, which is responsible for this drought. The solution to the drought is not making work more difficult for housekeepers. Ignore the hotel industry's greenwashing when they say that this ordinance will make the drought worse, when there's many other things that this council can do to prevent the drought from affecting Angelenos. Thank you.
Next speaker is Margarita Ramos. Margarita.
Mi nombre es Margarita Ramos y soy recamarera.
Un momentito. Margarita, aquí.
¿O dónde?
Un momentito, déjeme conseguirle una traductora.
Gracias.
Ok, nomás le pido que hable despacito para que le pueda traducir la traductora y usted va a hablar en el tema número 20.
Gracias.
Por favor, comience.
Mi nombre es Margarita Ramos, soy recamarera del Hotel Fairmont Century Plaza y me gustaría hablar de dos cosas. La protección a nuestros derechos como trabajadores.
Ok, un momentito.
Okay, so my name is Margarita Ramos and I'm a housekeeper at the Hotel Fairmont Continental Plaza, and I want to talk about two things. The first one is protection to the workers.
Y sobre una ley que protege al medio ambiente.
And about the law that protects the environment.
Cada vez que los trabajadores tratan de proteger nuestros derechos, las grandes corporaciones dicen palabras grandes, engañosas, para tratar de asustarnos.
So each time that the workers try to protect our rights, the big corporations speak grandiloquent words to scare us.
¿Recuerdan cuando nos dijeron que el salario mínimo perjudicó a la industria hotelera? Ahora en estos momentos es lo mismo.
So remember when they said that the minimum salary was detrimental to the hotel industry? Well, now they're doing the same.
Los cabilderos le están diciendo a los concejales que no podemos aprobar esta ley debido a la sequía, pero esta ley protege el medio ambiente.
They are claiming that to the council members that this is gonna be bad for the drought, but actually this law is protecting the environment.
Hay una sección donde cita que esta subsección no impide que un hotel continúe, modifique o establezca un programa ambiental sostenible.
So there is a quote where it says that this doesn't impede to continue or establish a program that protects the environment.
Como un programa verde, en virtud del cual se alienta a los huéspedes a reutilizar la ropa de cama, las toallas de baño o artículos similares, ni requiere un hotel para limpiar cualquier habitación de huéspedes cuando el ocupante ha optado por no recibir servicio.
So these, for example, these green programs that encourage the guests to use again the sheet for the beds or the towels, and also they don't need to use a service when they don't require.
Aun cuando el huésped manifiesta que no hay ningún problema para él.
When the guests are claiming that there is no problem for them.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Yesenia Mansour. Yesenia? You filled out cards for general public comment in item 21. You can go ahead and start with your item first.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, President Martinez and members of the City Council. I'm here to speak, as you said, on item 21 in general comment. My name is Yesenia Mansour, and I'm with Kaiser Permanente. We urge Council to send this 25 minimum wage healthcare ordinance to the voters in November. That will give voters time to do their research and make an educated decision. Please do not rush this process. We believe this ordinance will hurt the entire healthcare system in Los Angeles, but especially your very fragile community clinics and public health facilities, as they will face the daunting choice of significantly raising their minimum salaries in order to compete for the very limited workforce, or settle for less staffing and widening the wage gap. The impact to the health of your communities is at stake. Sure, the proposal will overnight increase the minimum wage to $25, but this would be only for a small selected portion of the LA workforce and only on a targeted industry, one of the most fragile industries struggling to recover from the pandemic. This is discriminatory and sets a dangerous precedent for the city of Los Angeles. And this is also a red flag to the rest of the LA business community. Kaiser Permanente stands for community health. That is our history, and that is what we always do. But this will only benefit the few while harming healthcare's ability to meet the medical needs of the greater community. Please, we respectfully ask that you send this ordinance to the voters. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Yahaira Reyes. Yahaira, you're speaking on item 20.
Hello, my name is Jahaira Reyes, and I would like to speak on the Hotel Worker Protection Ordinance. I work at the Hotel Figueroa. The city of Long Beach already passed the same law in 2018. The Santa Monica City Council passed it in 2019. The West Hollywood City Council passed it last year, and last Tuesday in Glendale, the City Council voted to pass this very same law. As a housekeeper, we often work in isolated areas, and I have a panic button, and every housekeeper deserves to have one because we never know what happens behind closed doors. This law has been tested and it works. The Los Angeles City Council should provide the same rights to the housekeepers that these cities did. Please implement this law now. Thank you.
Okay, members, I'm going to go ahead and take 10 additional speakers, and then we're going to move on to voting on some items. Next speaker is Willie Gladney. Willie, are you here? You're speaking on item 21.
Thank the council members. EVS worker at Cedars and a Los Angeles resident for my entire life. I'm here to express my support for the passing of healthcare minimum wage as an ordinance. I work for Cedars, make just over $20 an hour. I have to literally find work outside of Cedars to make sure I have enough money and food for my family, which means I have to paint a house, clean apartments, help out on construction sites. When I go to work, I'm exhausted. I need to be 100% to clean rooms to make sure that COVID doesn't spread to the hospital, which is hard to do when you're so exhausted from working extra work outside of the hospital. This is why I urge you to support healthcare workers' minimum wage, to retain and recognize the outstanding work of healthcare workers in Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Rosa Aleman. Rosa. Rosa, ¿necesita traductora?
I'll translate.
No, we have a translator.
I can translate. Go ahead.
Okay. No, we have a translator. We can't do that. We have a translator that's going to translate. Necesita traductora, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ok. La van a traducir. Nomás le pido que hable un poquito despacio para que la traductora le pueda traducir.
Sí.
And the reason is because we're televising this live and we need to record it. That's why we need to get our own translator.
Muy buenos días. Mi nombre es Rosa Guadalupe Alemán y trabajo para el Hotel Beverly Hilton por 22 años.
Okay, my name is Rosa Aguilar, and I work for the Beverly Hills Hotel for 22 years.
Las recamareras somos las únicas clasificaciones en la industria de las hospitalizaciones.
The housekeepers, we are the only one classified.
Que se les paga como trabajadores de la compensación de la confección, que se les paga como la industria.
That are paid as the workers, the industry workers of.
De la hospitalidad, que se les paga de los trabajadores.
So what she's saying, that housekeepers are the only classification in the hospitality industry that get paid like garment workers.
See, we couldn't hear anything you just said. You need to allow the translator to speak. Okay. Nomás muevas un poquito más poquito al micrófono y habla un poquito más despacio para que la traductora le pueda escuchar.
Okay. Nosotros somos trabajadores de las industrias de las hospitalizaciones, que se les paga como los trabajadores de la compensación.
So we are the workers that are paid as the workers of compensation.
Que se les paga en la función de la cantidad del trabajo que se realiza.
We are paid according to the amount of work that we do.
Cuando sube el salario mínimo,
When the minimum salary is raised,
algunos hoteles elevan la cuota de las habitaciones de las recamareras.
some hotels raise the price of the rooms of the housekeepers.
Por lo que realmente no ganamos más dinero por las habitaciones.
So we do not make more money per room.
Esta ley asegura que recibimos una compensación justa cuando limpiamos más habitaciones.
This law is gonna make sure that we get a fair compensation when we clean more rooms.
Es por eso el Ayuntamiento de Los Ángeles debería de implementar esta ley ahora. Gracias.
That is why this law should be implemented right now. Thank you.
Okay. The next speaker is Shane Dow. Shane Dow, are you here? Shane Dow? That person is not here. The next speaker is Oliver Rosenberg. Oliver Rosenberg, are you here? There's no one here with that name? Next speaker is Michael Shear. Michael Shear. And you filled out a card for general public comment?
Yes, general public.
Go ahead.
So I rode here on my bicycle today, and I know you guys had took comment last week on the bicycle ordinance about having bicycle parts and bicycle tools in public, and I just want to read from the REI website of what they recommend you bring with you when you go on a bicycle ride. So spare tubes and tires and/or patch kit, a compact pump, tire levers, bike multi-tool. I don't know if that's one tool or many. I guess the city attorney will decide. CO2 inflator with cartridges, spoke wrench, assorted nuts and bolts, chain tool, replacement chain links, lubricant, and a valve adapter. And here's the thing. I know this ordinance will never be applied to me because I also wear one of these really dorky cycling caps. And this ordinance will never be applied to someone who wears one of these caps and someone who has my privilege. This ordinance will only apply to people who can't afford homes, and I think that's wrong. And while I'm here, support the hotel workers and the hospital workers. Thank you.
The next speaker is Mackie Peters. After Mackie Peters, I'm going to take 3 more speakers, and then we're going to get to vote on the items before us. So you've filled out a card for general public comment in item 21. So we'll start with item 21, then you can move on.
Great. Hi, my name is Mackie Peters. I'm a resident of Los Angeles, and I'm here to express my support for adopting the healthcare worker minimum wage as an ordinance. The opposition has made false claims that these increases would only impact non-clinical workers. This is not true. We have CNAs, EMTs, and medical techs who are making $16 or $17 an hour, and they're employed and living in cars and in shelters here. This is unacceptable. The industry is implying that there is such a thing as a healthcare worker who is less than essential. We believe if you had to walk through the doors of a hospital when there was inadequate PPE and you risked your life to serve your community, you are essential, period. On the issue of why only privately funded hospitals, we just cannot be set for publicly funded institutions at this level. The opposition knows this full well and is making intentionally misleading claims. On the issue of clinics, we have been working hard to ensure that we fund this critical part of our healthcare infrastructure via SB 1014 through Senator Bob Hertzberg. It just passed through the Senate recently. SEIU is hard at work on this, and we've also been working with the county workers through
You move into your 1 minute of general public comment. Go ahead.
We've also been working with the county workers through SEIU 721 on securing a strong contract for those folks. When there is chronic understaffing in hospitals, it is a matter of public health. Minutes and seconds can be a matter of life and death. We must take urgent action to ensure we are not allowing our healthcare workers, whom we've called heroes, to be living on the streets and be housing insecure. It is unconscionable to have folks who've served our communities at tremendous personal sacrifice living in their cars using gym memberships just to have a way to bathe and shower. I implore this council to take immediate action on this critical issue and pass the healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. Thank you.
The next speaker is Linda Lopez. Linda?
Good morning. Mi nombre es Linda López y me gustaría hablar sobre la ordenanza de trabajadores de hoteles.
Ok, un momentito.
Sí.
Hello, my name is Linda Lopez, and I want to talk about the ordinance about the minimum salary at the hotels.
Soy ama de llaves en el Hotel Fairmont Century Plaza.
I am a housekeeper at the Hotel Fairmont Century Plaza.
Las recamareras y sus aliados recolectaron más de 100,010 firmas de los residentes de Los Ángeles.
We collected over 100,000 signatures from the LA residents.
En apoyo de esta ley, esta es una ley escrita por las recamareras para las recamareras gracias a un movimiento extraordinario de recamareras.
So this law, it's been supported by the housekeepers, and it's for them, in support of them, and it's like a key very important.
que van de puerta en puerta para contar sus historias,
For them, they go door by door to tell their own stories.
pedimos que apoyen a las recamareras
So we are asking to support the housekeepers
de implementar esta ley, por favor.
so they can implement this law, please.
Please. Thank
Gracias.
you.
Gracias.
The next speaker is Tony Ibarra,
Siguiente es Tony Barra.
and you're speaking on item 21.
Y va a hablar del punto 21, Tony Barra.
Good morning, City Council,
Buenos días.
Madam President. My name is Tony Ibarra, and I work for Mission Community Hospital as a representative of Outreach, and I'm here in the San Fernando Valley. I come today to urge you to please vote to refer the proposed healthcare worker minimum wage measure to the ballots for the voters to vote rather than adopt by ordinance. This measure is deeply flawed and arbitrary and unequal. Vast majority of the healthcare workers throughout the city of Los Angeles are excluded by this measure, creating a confusing, inequitable system. This unequal measure will hurt workers, patients, and these are our most vulnerable communities in San Fernando Valley. I appreciate your time. Thank you for having me.
The next speaker, this will be the last speaker, Brittany Everidge. Brittany? You fill out a card for general public comment in item 21. Start with your item and then you move into general public comment. Please begin.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Brittany Everidge. Thank you to the council members. I'm a ward clerk transcriber at Kaiser Permanente LAMC, and I'm a resident of Los Angeles for all my life. I'm here to express my support for passing the healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. As a healthcare worker for over 12 years, I signed up to do this job, and I could have never imagined working through a pandemic. I put my life on the line, and based on the wages I'm receiving, I can barely afford to pay my bills and put food on the table for my kids. We all put our lives on the line, and now that there isn't international coverage, it seems like everyone's forgotten about us. We feel unappreciated, we feel unseen, and we feel unheard. A lot of people have left, but we're still here and we're still working, and we still don't see people filling the positions of those who resigned and relocated. We're doing double and triple the work, and yet a lot of people are still picking up second jobs just to cover their bills at home, especially with the inflation, because we're all living in California and we're all experiencing it. We shouldn't have to work second jobs and burn ourselves out.
You have your 1 minute. Please continue.
Thank you. We shouldn't have to work second jobs and burn ourselves out. We should be able to focus on patients and saving lives. This is why I urge you to support the healthcare workers minimum wage to retain and recognize outstanding healthcare workers in our city. Thank you.
Members, that concludes public comment for today's meeting. Let's go ahead and vote on the following items. Items 1 through 2, items 4 through 6, items 23 through 31, item 33 and 35. Please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, let's move on to item 3. This was a motion introduced by Mr. De Leon, second by Mr. Bonin. Let's open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Let's move on to closed session items, which are items 36 through 39. Do you need to announce anything, Madam Clerk?
Thank you. For item 36, in the case entitled Leslie Bailey et al. Versus Jacob Kinker et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $4,500,000 in settlement. For item 37, in the case entitled Carol DeMeyers versus County of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement. For item 38, in the case entitled Daniel McCullough versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $580,000 in settlement. And for item 39, in the case entitled Dean Wenzel versus City of Los Angeles et al. And Isaac Cabrera versus Dustin Richmond et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $810,000 in settlement. Thank you.
Okay, members, let's prepare to vote on items 36 through 39, closed Closed session items, let's open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, let's move on to item 20. This was a motion to adopt, introduced by Mr. De Leon, second by Mr. Bonin. Mr. De Leon, do you wish to speak on this item? Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Colleagues, our city's economy is built around the service industry, and there's no better representation of that than the hotel workers who are present with us here today. As our city hosts international events and conventions that bring hundreds of thousands of tourists from all over the world, including dignitaries, presidents from our own Western Hemisphere just last week at the Summit of the Americas, these workers sitting in the audience here today are the face that tourists see every single day. But oftentimes the reality is they are the invisible to the rest of the city of Los Angeles. They are the backbone of our economy in the city of Los Angeles. City of LA makes a major part of the GDP of California, and therefore we are the 5th largest GDP on planet Earth. But they are also working class Angelenos, struggling to pay rent and put food on the table. Many are immigrants that came to this country to improve their lives and the lives of their children, with the hope that one day they will grow up and join the middle class. The majority of the hotel workers are people of color. The majority of those individuals are, in fact, women. And that's one strike against them already in today's society. The second strike is that they are Latinas. And the third strike is that they're immigrants. Latina immigrant women, who are often the invisible in a diverse, progressive city like Los Angeles. Immigrants like my mom, who I often bring up on this floor. Now, my mom cleaned other people's homes for the vast majority of her life. But for a period of time, my mom worked as a housekeeper in a hotel. In fact, 2 very luxurious hotels, one in La Jolla and one in Coronado. I remember her coming home exhausted, physically exhausted from long hours of constant physical work. We're voting on things today that she was never able to have. A right to consistent hours, fair compensation for heavy workloads, the right to personal panic buttons to protect hotel workers from sexual assault. These are basic workplace protections. Nothing proposed here is, in fact, controversial. In fact, I think it was mentioned a few moments ago by one of our speakers here at the dais that many of our neighboring cities have, in fact, already adopted them. Santa Monica, Long Beach, and just recently, Glendale and West Hollywood. Now that our economy is finally recovering from the economic blow of COVID, and be mindful about one thing, folks. We're 2.5 years, going on 3 years now, from recovering from COVID. During that time period, 90 to 95% of these individuals were out of a job. They were either terminated or they were laid off completely. A lot of us still worked hard. There was a lot of other sectors that continued to work no matter how bad things got. This was almost complete devastation. They were eviscerated completely, 90 to 95%. Some hotels now are expecting employees to work harder for less by cutting labor costs and increasing workloads through the elimination of daily room cleaning that was put into place during the pandemic. The truth is, if you're staying at a hotel and frankly don't want any daily cleaning, all you need to do is what we've done before, is hang one of these on your door. So that's all you have to do, is hang one on your door. And by doing so, your hotel room won't be cleaned. Nothing changes at all whatsoever. The status quo stays the same. What does change is how we treat the workers that take care of us every single day. So I stand here to urge this council to make this ordinance the law, because I know what this job does to people. I know what it did to my mother. And I want to make sure that workers like her are treated with dignity and respect that they deserve. Colleagues, we have a choice before us today. We can either take action now and ensure that these workers get the protections they deserve, or we can leave it to chance. I would like this council to take decisive action now and pass the content of this measure as an ordinance. These workers deserve basic rights. They shouldn't have to wait until November. Why should we ask the voters to tell us to do something we know is the right thing to do? When I was the leader of the Senate, I loathed moving measures before the electorate as a whole. I'd always say, why don't we take care of the business here? That's why we were voted, to take the decisions, to make the tough calls. To make the tough calls. That's why we were voted, colleagues. This is not a partisan issue, Republican or Democrat or moderate issue. This is an issue of fairness. It's an issue of respect and dignity for the backbone of our economy, who, again, oftentimes are treated as they are the invisible. Today, they are present and they are visible because they are Los Angeles and we are them. Compañeras y compañeros, nomás quisiera decir que ustedes, como la columna dorsal de la economía de esta ciudad, merecen dignidad y respeto. Finalmente, dejaron su país de origen en busca del sueño dorado, no pidiendo limosna, sino ganando su sueldo con el sudor de su frente. Y lo que merecen ustedes es dignidad y respeto. El papel nuestro es hacer todo lo posible para promover las políticas públicas que favorecen la condición humana de cada nuestra gente trabajadora latina inmigrante aquí en este país. Y gracias a ustedes, somos la quinta potencia mundial. Colleagues, I urge that we stand together collectively and we support the working men and women of the city of Los Angeles, and we support this measure. Madam President, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Gracias
De
a
Leon.
todos. Gracias.
Okay, the next member on the queue is Mr. Bonin, followed by Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you for your leadership on this. Thank you, Mr. De Leon, for your comments and for your leadership. Colleagues, when I came into Chambers today, I was really excited. There was such an energy in this room. Mr. De Leon said that many of the people that are in this room are often treated as invisible. They may often be invisible, but they are not quiet, as we have just seen. But this room with the hotel workers and the hospital workers has more energy and is more reflective of Los Angeles than we've seen in these chambers for a couple years now, since before the pandemic. And the other reason I was happy when I came in is when I looked up, when I came in, there were 3 names on the board, and it was me and Ms. Martinez and Mr. Price. And I thought that was a happy coincidence because it was in 2014, our first year in office, where the 3 of us authored and later that year won approval of the original citywide hotel minimum wage. There are some people who are talking about this proposal as if the sky is falling if it passes. We passed the citywide hotel minimum wage in 2014. This seeks to expand it to cover more hotels and to cover more workers. In 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, this body passed a hotel workers retention ordinance to protect workers when a hotel changes hands or changes management. This ordinance before us seeks to expand that to cover more hotels and more workers. Those are common sense, fair, prudent steps to be taking to do what this body always tries to do and what this country always tries to do, which is expand justice, expand opportunity, expand fairness, and that's what this does. And the third thing this does is it provides panic buttons for hotel employees, primarily women, who are often in dangerous, scary, precarious situations. That is not something that needs to go to a ballot. That's a common sense protection that people should have right now. And so I hope that we move this forward today. I also want to note, because it was mentioned by a couple people who testified in public comment, some concern about water use and drought. To put it very bluntly, that's a BS argument. And I don't know if folks around the Horseshoe have had a chance to see it yet, but if that was an issue of concern to you, we have a letter signed by Waterkeeper and Hilda Bay and NRDC saying that that is a BS argument, that there is nothing in this that significantly increases water use, and most of the things that increase water use in hotel are not things that are covered by housekeeping. They're landscaping in their kitchens, and nothing in here does that. And I will note, it was a little odd, it was a little disingenuous to hear representatives of organizations that include and give voice to and lobby for the fossil fuel industry come in here and talk about the environment. This city has a long history of leading and being in the forefront and being one of the first when it comes to standing up for workers. Whether it's in the 1990s, when a previous city council approved the first living wage ordinance in the country, whether it was 15 or 20 years ago when we approved hotel worker wage standards along the Century Boulevard corridor, or whether when this body stood up and said we will be the first big city in the country to get to a $15 minimum wage. We lead on those things. But as Mr. De Leon noted, when it comes to what is in this measure, we've fallen behind. West Hollywood and Santa Monica and Long Beach and Glendale are all ahead of us, and it's time for us to catch up. Mr. De Leon noted that so many of the workers that would be covered by this are often invisible. This is an opportunity for us to say, you are never invisible in this room, and you should never be invisible in the city of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Mr. Koretz, followed by Mr. Lee, followed by Mr. Price.
Thank you, Madam President. My father was a hotel worker, and he was an immigrant, and spent his last years working for the LA Hilton downtown. But he was not a housekeeper. Housekeepers are, I believe, the most mistreated part of the hotel chain, and they are paid in a somewhat ancient system of piecework. They're paid by the room. So when the rate of pay per room goes up, hotels sometimes have increased the number of rooms you have to cover an hour or in a shift. This is not a good thing. This is a danger because as they're given more rooms to cover, they have to rush more, they tend to get injured more. It's not a way things should be happening. And I've long objected to this. Before I was elected to the council, there was a protest on Century Boulevard where many of us, including elected officials, protested and shut down Century Boulevard because we objected to this very same issue. I mean, frankly, I think housekeepers could find less abusive work, and it is available. There's no shortage of jobs. I'm surprised that hotels are able to maintain their staff as it is. And I don't think it would be a bad thing for them to actually treat their housekeepers decently and pay them decently to retain them. They face dangerous customers, as Mr. Bonin noted. They face dangerous conditions where they have to rush around to get their work done, or sometimes they're just told to finish their extra rooms off the clock afterwards and not be paid for it. And this is not minimizing the difficulty for hotels. I realize it's a struggle for them to survive during the COVID period. But I don't think they should be conditioning their survival on the backs of their least valued and most mistreated workers. And the issue of water conservation, I have to agree with Mr. Bonin, and I'd say it's safe to say that nobody on this council has been more involved in water conservation than I have. And when I served on the Metropolitan Water District Board, I got them to spend $350 million in a year to remove turf, to cause water conservation to happen throughout Los Angeles and throughout the area that they covered. I just don't think this is an honest argument. The impact on water will be absolutely minimal, and our most respected and knowledgeable water-related environmental organizations agree. So I think there's no danger to this. I think there's only positive. And yes, hotels will have to pay a little more, as they should. Their workers shouldn't have to live out of their cars. Their workers shouldn't have to work one or two other jobs in addition to their hotel job to make ends meet. And as was noted, other cities with strong economies that have not been impacted, cities like my former city of West Hollywood, passed such an ordinance, and they have done just fine. And so have all the other cities that have passed this ordinance. There's no difference except it's before the city of Los Angeles. And it didn't cause harm in Glendale, it didn't cause harm in West Hollywood, it didn't cause harm in Santa Monica. Those economies are not struggling, those cities are not struggling, the sky is not falling there, and the sky will not fall here either. And rather than go through a lengthy and expensive election and lots of millions of dollars in deceptive advertising to see whether people can be convinced not to believe in what they do believe in, clearly according to surveys, whether they can be sold a false narrative and see how close it gets, that's the only advantage in putting it to the ballot. We know the overwhelming majority of LA residents now support this ordinance, and it's time for us to make the tough decision and do it as well. I ask for your aye vote.
Okay, Mr. Lee, followed by Mr. Price, followed by Ms. Rahman.
President, I have the utmost respect for our service industry, and the things that have been said before me are very true. The people who are sitting here today are an important piece of what makes Los Angeles run. I do agree with Councilmember Bonin when he talks about the simple things that we should pass through our legislative process, like the panic button and the different types of training that this petition asks for. However, I am very uncomfortable with adopting an ordinance right now outright that doesn't provide any type of independent economic analysis. This measure may also have serious impact on sensitive revenues, such as our transient occupancy tax that we depend on to fund public safety and critical public works projects. I am also concerned that not allowing hotels, even though a couple of speakers before me have talked about that they don't believe the arguments about the water issue, but I'm concerned that hotels, by us not allowing hotels to solicit customers to water rationing, will damage our ability to put our credibility on future water conservation matters here in the city of Los Angeles. We all know the severity. We had a presentation just a couple weeks ago. We all know the severity of what we face with our water shortage. And it is unrealistic to expect that out-of-town visitors from areas not impacted by lack of water to engage in the rationing that we know here in the city of Los Angeles. These matters should be decided by by a vote of the electorate, not by just turning in signatures. I ask for your support of option 2. Option 2 is to move option 2 to place this item on the November 8th, 2022 ballot. Can I have a second?
Mr.
Thank you, ma'am.
Buscaino seconds. Members, we will take up the motions on this item as soon as all the members on the queue have spoken. Mr. Price.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to thank, first of all, members of the public who came out and spoke today. I certainly stand in solidarity with my colleagues that are prepared to pass this ordinance today because it's the right thing to do. I was proud to stand in solidarity with my colleagues back in 2014 when we raised the minimum wage for hotel workers, because it was a fair and proper thing to do at that time. And this is a continuation of that as well as we look at workloads, wages, security. It's important that we take an additional step forward. LA has always been the leader, been the cutting edge. We should continue that with this motion today. As has been stated, other cities have gone this route, have survived. The sky did not fall. Life has gone on, and we are confident that we can achieve that same result here in Los Angeles. So I stand in solidarity with my colleagues, with individuals here in the public who think it's fair time and high time that this be an ordinance, something that we have some control over right now today, and I'm supporting a yes vote for its passage. Thank you.
Ms. Rahman, followed by Mr. Krikorian.
I wanted to thank some of my colleagues for their very moving words today. Councilmembers De Leon, Bonin, Councilmember Price, thank you all for your work, your leadership on this for many years in this body, and I'm so delighted to be standing with all of you today. I also just wanted to share with everyone here who spoke so movingly about their own experiences in this industry. One part of this that I'm so excited to support today is the panic buttons. In October of 2017, the entire world underwent an awakening around issues of sexual harassment when issues related to Harvey Weinstein came to light in the New York Times. And workers stood together. It wasn't just actresses. It was fast food workers. It was farm workers. It was hotel workers. It was professionals. It was lawyers. All of them stood together and said, we demand change. We want safer workplaces. And yet, when the cases of sexual harassment didn't merit news coverage, when it wasn't powerful men that would be covered in national headlines, suddenly the movement for institutional change fell away. And I'm really excited to see 5 years later, finally, that we are making movement towards actually making those deep institutional changes that can protect workers, that can protect hotel workers today. And I also want to say how meaningful this is to me to be able to do this at a time when nationally, reproductive rights and women's rights are under attack. But here in Los Angeles, we say no. Women workers stand together, we fight together, and we win together. Thank you all.
The next speaker is Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I don't talk about myself very much. I don't talk about how I grew up. But I want to, for a moment, so that people don't hear me as, the lawyer from the San Fernando Valley. My mom dropped out of high school. My dad was a Marine, and after he served in the Marine Corps, he drove a cab and eventually worked out in the sun, working 6 days a week with his hands. My mom was subjected to unspeakable sexual harassment and things that nowadays we would be stunned by as she was trying to raise me after my parents got divorced as a single mom. And because of what they went through, you know, I had the opportunity to be the first in my family to go to college. So that's the perspective that I come from when I hear issues like this. And so I'm, of course, moved by the substance of everything that's been said by my colleagues about the moral imperative that we have as a council and as a society to stand up for people who are subjected to those sorts of conditions and circumstances, and to stand up for working people who often don't have the voice that they should have. So on the substance of everything that everyone has said about the importance of what's before us, I very much agree. My concern is a question of process. Now, Mr. Bonin spoke about the work that this council did in 2014 at the initiation of our council president, Mr. Bonin, Mr. Price. Mr. Wesson was very much involved in that. Many other of the members of this council were very involved in this. That was in 2014 when we worked on the previous hotel workers minimum wage ordinance. Now, the ordinance that's before us that the motion seeks to adopt has not been considered by a single policy committee. There has not been a single economic analysis done of it. The work that Mr. Bonin and others did in 2014 involved extensive analysis, extensive consideration of, will this impact the hotel industry? Will this make non-union jobs at Airbnbs and other places more competitive than the union jobs in hotels? Extensive analysis. The need for panic buttons, obvious. That should be obvious to all of us. And yet not one member of this council, as far as I know, introduced a motion to require that before today. We waited until these petitions were circulated, and then we come in and say, well, okay, we agree with everything that's said in that. So why wasn't this done 3 months ago? Why wasn't this done 6 months ago? Why wasn't this done 6 years ago by motion, so that this deliberative body, the elected leaders of this city, whose job it is to consider things and evaluate things and take public input on things and then reach a deliberative decision, how come none of that was done? It's been done, it was even done during the COVID emergency, when we had to act quickly in order to make sure that businesses didn't collapse around this city and to make sure that these workers were not immediately laid off from their jobs, that they would have recall rights, that they would have all of those rights. Even then, in the midst of the COVID emergency, we managed to work with the CLA and the CAO and our staff and have committee hearings and have public input. And yet none of that is before us today. Today is a simple question. I mean, if you support this, then by all means support it. We campaign for it between now and November. At the same time, though, if we're going to enact this as a council, shouldn't we have at least had one policy committee hearing on it? Shouldn't we at least have had the CLA or the CAO here to say, well, here's how the ordinances in other cities are different than this? We don't know. We don't have that in front of us. You know, we're saying certain arguments are BS off the top of our heads without a single bit of policy analysis having been done. Not one bit. So I'm sorry, members, I as supportive as I am of everything that is, you know, contained in this effort, this is not the way this body should make policy. This body should make policy at the initiation of council members who introduce motions which are then heard by committees, which are then voted on by this council. And none of that is before us today. So with that, I just can't support going forward with an ordinance today. As much as I would, love to support the substance of this, I don't believe we've justified our ability to do that today.
Mr. Buscaino?
Thank you, Madam President, and I agree, Mr. Krikorian. It's our job as a council to do bare minimum due diligence. And as you know, you've heard me say this, members, I hate studies, I hate committee work, but all we're asking, we should ask, is just basic information. The basic information on the economic analysis of the impacts of this ordinance before us. And I absolutely am in support of the panic button provision of this ordinance and the employee protections afforded by it. There's other significant concerns about some other provisions. And as we've seen through COVID, the hospitality industry was devastated by the pandemic and not as fully recovered. Many hotels are still struggling to hire personnel, and I'm concerned this may further complicate those efforts. I'm also concerned about the impacts of our transit occupancy tax. The TOT funds the basic city services, police, fire, street cleaning, and still we haven't received some of the impacts that COVID has made on the hotel industry. There hasn't been any economic analysis that's been conducted on the impacts of COVID. So I'm concerned. And also, to your point, Mr. Corey, we found that Unite here does amazing work representing our workers. They approached the city of West Hollywood and did work with them. They approached the city of Long Beach and did work with them and talked this through. Why have they not approached this body? So I feel that they're jamming this down without having any input on this. And if these issues were so critically important to this body, then why haven't we actually acted upon them? So I support Mr. Lee's motion to allow the voters to decide moving forward, Madam President and members.
Okay, members, seeing no other members on the queue, we're going to take up the first motion that was made, introduced by Mr. Lee, second by Mr. Buscaino, to send this item to the ballot. So let's go ahead and open the roll on the first motion introduced by Mr. Lee, second by Mr. Buscaino on item 20. Please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
3 ayes, 10 noes.
This motion fails.
Okay, let's move on to members, let's go ahead and move on to the second motion. This is a second vote. This is a motion introduced by Mr. De Leon, second by Mr. Bonin, to adopt. Let's go ahead and open the roll on item 20. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. If I may, the motion is adopted. The ordinance will be held over 1 week to June 28th for a second reading.
Okay, let's move on to item 21. So, members of the public, if I can please ask you to if you're going to exit, do it quietly. We still have remaining items on the agenda that we need to get through. The next item is item 21. This was a motion to adopt introduced by Mr. Price and second by Mr. Harris Dawson. Mr. Price.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, for more than 2 years, we've relied and depended on our healthcare workers like never before. Today, they are depending on us, and we really should deliver. From the hotel living wage to the $15 minimum wage, this council has been constant in its support for our city's workers. Today, we have an opportunity to support our healthcare workers, those that have been on the front line of this pandemic, putting themselves and their families at risk, many leaving the profession The difference between life and death can be a matter of minutes, and staffing shortages we're seeing at our healthcare facilities have a direct impact on patient health outcome. Raising the minimum wage will help retain our healthcare workers and hopefully attract new ones to the professions. It's a lifeline, if you will. I say that if Target can afford to pay workers $25 an hour, we can ensure that our healthcare workers can also make $25 an hour. Now is the time to show these workers that we see them and that we appreciate them, and we appreciate all the sacrifice. To put workers over corporations and commit our community of care is something we must work toward. So, colleagues, I ask you to support my motion to adopt the proposed initiative ordinance so that we can move our community forward. Thank you.
Mr. Price? I'm sorry. I just called on Mr. Price. Mr. Koretz, followed by Mr. Bonin.
Thank you, Madam President. And I'm concerned about the whole healthcare industry. It's been a problem for years that the healthcare industry can't keep up with its need for workers at every level, doctors and nurses and other healthcare workers. It's hard to keep people, and especially during the pandemic, where people were burned out from incredibly long hours. They were burned out from seeing people in their care dying. Some of them risked their own lives. Some of them lost their own lives. And yet, people remain. And they obviously, all of you that are in the healthcare field, love helping people. You wouldn't do it otherwise because the financial remuneration isn't enough, especially at this level. People that risk their lives when they could be working at Target or they could be working at McDonald's and make similar kinds of money without the risk, without the hard work, without the burnout. I think low wages is a real problem for the healthcare industry as a whole. And I've told folks at Cedars that and other places that increasing wages is good for them because they're just not going to be able to keep enough workers to keep the industry going otherwise. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for the hospitals, and it's a win for their workers. Now, it isn't great that clinics and other places will have lower salaries initially, but there are efforts at the state level to increase those wages as well. So rather than keep wages down for everybody, I think we need to start to lift them up, and hopefully this action will lift all boats, and ultimately everyone in healthcare will at least be paid a somewhat decent wage so they don't need to be living out of their cars or couch surfing or working second jobs. I mean, who would think that you'd be in the healthcare industry and you'd have to work a second job just to pay your rent? This shouldn't be happening. It really is time for it to end. I think this is an initiative whose time has come, and I think we need to take the action to pass it today.
Next speaker is Mr. Bonin.
I wanted to rise quickly to also support this and ask that we approve this and to salute the work that has been done by the healthcare workers and by their representatives. What's happening, Mr. Koretz detailed the staffing shortage. What's happening with the income and the wages and the compensation of our healthcare workers and our hospital workers is really just an example of what's happening in Los Angeles and an example of what's happening in the United States. And it's a very fine point on the example, and it's one that people are particularly drawn to right now because of the pandemic and hospitals and healthcare. But this is what's happening everywhere. Over the past couple of years, the CEOs and the executives of our hospitals have made exorbitant amounts of money. hospitals have made exorbitant, unprecedented profits. Executives are getting bonuses and incredible compensation. And the workers are struggling, and the workers are falling behind. The workers that we're all quick to call essential workers certainly don't get treated and paid as if they are essential. Just a couple of weeks ago, last month, a couple thousand of the workers from Cedars-Sinai were striking for 5 days outside of Cedars-Sinai. It was good to see you there. They were talking, making $17 or so. They were talking about how there were Starbuckses in Los Angeles where they could make better compensation. But they were dedicated to their jobs. They were dedicated to health care. They were dedicated to taking care of people. There was some progress made at Cedars, but a lot more progress needs to be made all around. And I'm glad to see us doing this for our hospital workers, for our healthcare workers. I would love us to expand this and do it citywide and nationwide, because everybody deserves it, but this is a great first step. Thank you.
Seeing no other members on the queue, Madam Clerk, let's prepare to vote on item 21. Motion to adopt, introduced by Mr. Price, seconded by Mr. Harris Dawson. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 2 noes.
It's okay. The motion is adopted. The ordinance will be held over 1 week to June 28th for a second reading.
All right, I'm just going to remind the members of the audience we still have work to do on this council. So if you're going to exit, please do it as quietly as possible so I can continue with our meeting. Members, let's go ahead and take up item 22. We're just allowing our members of the public to exit. Okay, members of the public, I'm just going to ask you one more time if you can just exit quietly so I can continue with the meeting. I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. Members, item 22, I'm going to go ahead and refer 22A and 22C to committee without objection. That will be the order. Mr. Buscaino?
Thank you, Madam President. What's wrong with our lights? We pay our DWP bill here. Oh, there you go. Members, I'm dedicating this item in honor of our beloved Tom LaBonge, who always felt that parks make life better. Today, we have come to appreciate the importance of parks, especially during the pandemic, more than ever before. Our parks and public spaces. The Department of Recreation and Parks currently manages a broad portfolio, as we know, of regional parks, recreation centers, pools, bathhouses, senior centers, lakes, trails, picnic areas, and playgrounds that touch all corners of this great city. According to the Trust for Public Land, the combined economic benefits of parks in the city exceeds $3 billion. And right now, if you're not aware, Prop K provides a consistent revenue source for capital improvements and maintenance for our parks and recreation facilities. However, Prop K will end in the near future, the next few years. Additionally, the guaranteed revenue mandated by the city charter is no longer enough to sustain the operations of this department. In July of 2018, the Department of Recreation and Parks issued a Parks Condition Assessment Report summarizing the site conditions and recommended improvements for all parks owned by the Department of Recreation and Parks. In that report, in addition to the CAO report before us, identifies billions of dollars needed for the rehab of existing facilities, development of new parks and recreation facilities, and maintenance and operations. Without an additional revenue source, none of this would be possible. After voters passed Prop 26 in 2010, the DWP was no longer able to provide free electricity and water service to rec and parks, resulting in an additional $20 million expenditure that was never budgeted for. While the voters addressed this problem with libraries with Measure L in 2011, rec and parks simply had to absorb that cost. Now, with the 28 Olympic Games on the horizon, where several of rec and parks facilities will serve as venues for various competitions, and with the public needing and using our public spaces more than ever, it's vitally important that we act now in order to plan for our future. And this is why I authored this motion, asking departments to report back on solution to this problem. I'm grateful to our council president, Mr. O'Farrell, for supporting the recommendation to adopt a partial tax for capital and operations and maintenance in committee. Mr. Krikorian for helping lead the effort to address some of the improvements needed in our park and recreations as it relates to our child care facilities. So the committee, so with that, as described in recommendation 2B that was approved in Rules Committee, we'll move on that recommendation. And thanks for your support, Ms. Martinez, on that of the CAO's report. I started my city career as a recreation assistant at Bogdanovich Park. And there, Nuri, I was recruited by then Sergeant Pat Gannon to join the LAPD. That was my home park. The parks have done so much to our residents, and they've impacted our lives, and it's important that we ensure that they continue to be maintained moving forward with knowing that Prop K will soon be dying off. Madam President, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Buscaino, for your leadership. Members, we're going to vote on item 22 as amended by 22B. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, let's move on to item 32 as amended by Mr. O'Farrell. Open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Let's move on to item 34. This was called special for comments by Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I'll try to be brief in light of the hour, but I just wanted to speak to this item because this council took a strong leadership position on extreme heat just over the last few weeks as we created the first city extreme heat officer, and that work is ongoing. Assemblymember Rivas and Assemblymember Bloom are taking similar strong leadership positions in Sacramento with AB 2076 and AB 2597. These are both steps towards acknowledging the extraordinary impact that extreme heat is beginning to have on wildfires, on public health, on workplace conditions, on the economy, and so many other ways. So I ask for your aye vote in support of both of these bills.
Let's go ahead and open the roll on this item. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
13 eyes.
Madam Clerk, what's before us now?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those are posted and referred. Members, are there any announcements? Mr. Price, do you have an announcement?
No announcement, Madam President, but just wanted to be recorded as a no vote on item 8. No vote
Recorded as a no vote on item number 8.
Yes, please.
Can we, doesn't change the actual outcome, but let's record the votes anyways. All right, thank you.
Thank you. For the record, for that item, there's 8 ayes and 4 noes. The item is adopted.
Thank you. Members, are there any other announcements? I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow we barely have quorum. Several members have requested to attend the funeral services of LAPD Officer Tippy. And so please know that I would really appreciate it if you all arrived on time tomorrow. If not, we will not have a quorum for tomorrow's council meeting. So if you are not excused to attend that funeral tomorrow, I request that you be here on time, or else we will not be able to have our council meeting due to quorum. So I appreciate that and thank you. Are there any other announcements? Can we all rise for adjourning motions? Any adjourning motions to my left? Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Madam President. And I don't really have anything prepared, but I do want to adjourn in memory of Ruth Williams, who is a notable individual in the history of West Hollywood. She was one of the people that helped to found the city, one of the candidates that ran for the first city council in 1984, several times thereafter, and just missed becoming a council member, including running against me when I first ran for city council in West Hollywood. But she remained a good friend. She was very active on a number of city commissions and committees, particularly involved in public safety. She was also involved in LA in the Beverly Fairfax area and in the bid there and other efforts to keep that area clean and safe and successful. She has many, many friends and admirers in the city of West Hollywood and beyond, and will be greatly missed. I don't believe I'll be able to attend her funeral on Friday at 10 a.m. because I'll be here in council. But for those of you who are listening that knew her, it will be Friday at 10 a.m. at Forest Lawn, and she will be greatly missed by the many people that knew and loved her in the city of West Hollywood and elsewhere. And so may she rest in peace.
Thank you, Mr. Koretz. Any other adjourning motions to my left? Adjourning motions to my right? Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm adjourning today in the memory of Judge Michael Luros, who some of you may know, who passed away peacefully at the age of 74 on Friday, June 17th. Judge Luros was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Milton and Beatrice Luros. The family then relocated to Southern California in the late 1950s, where Michael attended Granada Hills High School. He graduated from UC Santa Barbara with a bachelor's degree in political science and history, and then earned his law degree at the University of Chicago in 1972. And after several years of private practice and work with the Office of the State Public Defender, Governor Jerry Brown appointed him to the Los Angeles Municipal Court in 1981. Judge Luros then sat on the Municipal and Superior Court bench until 2008, leading a distinguished career as a respected jurist. In 1989, Judge Luros was named the San Fernando Valley Criminal Bar Association's Municipal Court Judge of the Year. The San Fernando Valley Bar Association recognized Judge Luros with the President's Award in 1992. Judge Luros was a strong advocate for law enforcement. He established a scholarship with the Los Angeles Police Department Devonshire Pals supporters and always valued his relationship with LAPD. Judge Luros is survived by his cherished nieces and nephews, Hillary Luros, Jody Groff, Jason Luros, Stephanie Gilbert, great nieces and nephews, Esty, Daniel, Marlee, Madeline, Beatrix, and Samuel. And his family would also like me to recognize his constant companions and caregivers, Gloria Marcella, Cesar Marcella, and Marilyn Apolinario, and his close circle of long-life friends, Larry Stern, Judge Michael Pastor, and Fran Solmore. May Judge Luros rest in peace.
Members, any other adjourning motions? Seeing none, our meeting is adjourned.
Even housing. That really created a greater sense of urgency for the mayor and the city council, and particularly our champion, Councilwoman Rodriguez, to make the department a reality now. There's never been a more important time to have a department like ours. And you know, this past 7 months and starting up the department, I spent a lot of time just talking directly with young people. Almost 500 at this point. And they're asking for educational support, they're asking for mental health support, and they're asking for jobs. So I hope that, you know, the Youth Development Department will be able to better make those resources and services more accessible to the young people that need them the most.
In addition to these services that are being provided by the Youth Development Department, there is a renewal of a program in a new incarnation, of course, that is very, very exciting, you know, the Youth Council. So the Youth Council is under the Youth Development Department, but the Youth Council is a chance for young Angelenos to literally participate in government.
Yeah.
How does this work?
So the department, and I'm a part of it, and that is, you know, being an individual as an administrator in my former role, designing programs for young people, without really talking to young people as much as I should have. So the Youth Council, and it's named after Olivia Mitchell, who is a legend here in Los Angeles and one of my mentors, who actually started the first Youth Council to be situated in City Hall under Mayor Tom Bradley, and has graduated many leaders such as, you know, Councilwoman Rodriguez and Councilman Koretz and former Councilman Tom LaBonge. This Youth Council will provide an advisory group to our department and to the city. They will work hand in hand with us to assess the services of our city departments, go deep on the policy issues that are of interest to them, and I'll tell you from the applications that have come in so far, the policy areas that have risen to the top are education, mental health, social justice and equity, and employment. So they will work with us, they will advise us, and they'll be our ears and eyes on the ground and within their own communities to tell us what is working, what is not working, what's missing, what do we need to do more of, what do we need to do less of. And they will help guide us in policy making and budget decisions around what services we should be investing in here in the city.
So what are some of the details of this council? I know it's 2 council persons per district.
Yep.
But what are you looking for? What's the age
Yeah.
range? What is the interest level? Does it matter if they're in college or not? You know, what
No.
are some of the deeds?
Yeah, so we want this youth council to truly represent the young people of Los Angeles. So we'll have 2 representatives from each of the 15 council districts between the ages of 16 and 25. They have to be current residents of the city of LA. They can be high school students, they can be college students. They could be part of that population that has disengaged.
So they don't have to be a student.
Well, we will work with them to get them back
to be
into
a
school,
student, okay.
but if they're currently disengaged, you know, we're not turning them away either. And the reason I say that is because we want to make sure that the council represents all walks of life of young Angelenos. So I know we're going to have our students who are participating on student councils, but I also want the students who have lived experience with food insecurity, housing instability, or possibly homelessness, young people who have had a connection to the juvenile justice system, young people in foster care. I want to make sure that those 30 truly represent all Angelenos.
What's their commitment?
It's a 12-month commitment.
Okay.
At a minimum, we're going to ask them to come to 2 meetings a month.
Okay.
12 months. We value their time and we respect them as experts, as young people and their perspectives, so we will also be compensating them for their time. So I want to make sure that young people don't have to make that hard decision between their part-time job that they have to help support their family and participating in this great opportunity to be a part of city government and decision making. So we are also compensating them for that.
All right, so if somebody wants to find out about, the youth council and getting involved, what's the easiest way for them to find out?
youthcouncil.lacity.org. So if you visit us there, you'll have all the information that a parent or a young person might need to understand a little bit more about the Youth Council.
Well, it was delightful to talk with you, and I can't wait to hear about the future of the Youth Development Department.
I'd love to come back, and thank you for the opportunity.
Some might recall her famous use of reclaiming my time when she felt her questions were being stonewalled. In memes, she's called Auntie Maxine. She's equally vilified and lauded in the press. Everyone has strong feelings about Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Well, she doesn't let the noise stop her from being a tenacious fighter for Los Angeles. She has served in Congress for over 3 decades. I am delighted to be joined today by Congresswoman Maxine Waters. It is such a thrill to have you in studio. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
15 terms in
Yes.
Congress. I mean, just the changes, the drama,
Yes.
the camaraderie and the
Yes.
fights, all of that. Right now, what is going right and what is going wrong?
I have seen the work of a Democratic administration, a Republican administration, and now we're in a very different time. And I'm not proud to, have to share this, and I do share it in the community. I've never seen anything like what we're experiencing now. We have people who have been elected to office who are part of groups like QAnon, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and the KKK. They're in the House of Representatives and the